This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, we should be live.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order of the MPO Policy Board for September 9th, 2021 here at 2:00 p.m. And the first item that we need to address is our roll call, that since we're doing this virtually. So Mayor Dennis.
Present.
Tom Murtaugh.
Present.
Larry Leverance sitting in for Jackson Bogan. Larry, are you here? Okay, well, my notes said Larry was going to be sitting in. We'll move on. Peter Bunder.
Here.
Gary, Cindy Murray.
Here.
Ben Murray.
Here.
Shane Spears.
Present. Excuse me, present.
All right, looks like we still have a quorum. Correct? Somebody help me. 1, 2.
Yeah, we should still have a quorum.
Okay, great.
Larry said he might be a little bit late, so that's why he wasn't showing up yet.
Okay, all right. Well, as long as we have a quorum. So the first item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the August 12th, 2021 meeting that have been communicated to you in your packet, and I would entertain a motion for approval.
John Dennis, so moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion, changes, or Scribner's errors? All right, hearing none. Mayor Dennis.
Aye.
Commissioner Murtaugh.
Aye.
Larry, are you here yet? Okay. Peter Bunder.
Aye.
Cindy Murray.
Aye.
Ben Murray.
Aye.
Spears.
Aye.
Thank you, everybody. The motion carries. The next item on the agenda is Resolution T21-5, resolution to adopt the Coordinated Human Services Transportation Plan, and Doug will be handling that.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure to bring this plan for your review and hope approval. We've been working on this plan now for approximately a year and a half. It is an update to two previous plans. The original one was adopted in 2008 with the first update in 2015. This plan, as we have presented earlier this year at various times, looks at transportation issues, challenges for three groups. One being those who are elderly, two, those who are disabled, and three, those with low income. The report follows basically the same format as the previous two. The first part goes through a comprehensive summary, reports all of the providers and services within Tippecanoe County. Different with this report is the previous two is that we used a PDF survey to collect this data. There's a lot more information this time than the previous two. We did have a very good turnout response-wise, and we did follow-up phone calls and pretty much had a fairly close 100% response rate. Following that, we have a fairly extensive demographic analysis looking at persons 65 and older, not only just number and percentage, but those who are disabled, living in poverty, and also disabled and living in poverty. Also looked at persons with disabilities, especially with income below the poverty level. We looked at persons who live in poverty as well. We looked at persons who work both full-time, part-time, and who are not working who live in poverty. We looked at households with no vehicles and with only one vehicle. We looked at occupied, whether it be owner, renter, occupied housing units that had a household income of less than $15,000. We also looked at veterans for this report, not only just the number, but also those who are 65 and older, those who have a disability, and those who live in poverty. And of course, we have job information where retail, non-retail, and manufacturing jobs are located. Following that, we have basically the meat and potatoes of the document. Our stakeholders, we sent out letters to 130 organizations, individual services, and invited them to participate in identifying first all the gaps, barriers, challenges, and issues these three groups face. We held a meeting in December and came up with an updated list for all three groups. Following that, we had a second meeting where we identified strategies, activities, and projects that address those gaps, barriers, and needs. The last part of the document, instead of setting a priority for all of these strategies, we basically agreed, as we have in the past two documents, that the top two priorities, one is provide additional service, and the second is looking for additional funding. These, again, seem to be the two top priorities. All of the remaining strategies, activities, and projects that were listed were actually then allocated to which group, agency, business that could best carry out those strategies, so that when those individual groups or agencies have the ability to implement those strategies, they can at their own time and discretion. The document has been presented, or at least the draft document has been presented to the Technical Transportation Committee at their meeting last month, and that committee recommended adoption. We presented it to the Citizens Participation Committee meeting last night, and the members that attended had some fairly good comments. Some of them were regarding how students played a factor in this, rural transportation service, did we involve or look at climate change, how old or update is the census data that was used. So in essence, we had some very good questions and comments, but nothing in terms of that made us think or rethink about the document and go back and look at different things. So with that, we are hoping that after I am able to answer your comments and questions, that this board would then adopt this plan update through resolution T-21-15. Are there any comments or questions that I can answer at this time?
Well, all right. Anybody have any questions for Doug? Well, Doug, just let me say thank you to you and your team. This appears to be a very thorough document, and you work very, very hard on the outreach and to get people to participate and stuff, and did a marvelous job with that. So thank you to you and your team for the hard work on it.
Great. Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
If there are no questions, I'd entertain a motion to approve resolution T-21-15.
So moved by John Dennis.
Do I have a second?
Second, Ben Murray.
All right, we'll take roll call vote. John Dennis.
Aye.
Tom Murtaugh.
Aye.
Larry Leverins. Okay, maybe Peter Bunder.
Aye.
Cindy Murray.
Aye.
Ben Murray.
Aye.
Shane Spears.
Aye.
The motion carries. Thank you, everyone.
Great. Thank you very much.
The next item on the agenda is the administrative modification for the year 2022-2026 TIP, and Doug will be explaining that.
This is a fairly simple and straightforward TIP modification. As we have done in the past, if there's any changes that have occurred to a tip through the modification process. We bring that information to this board, unlike what the tip amendment process is. As I mentioned, this is a fairly simple modification. The Morehouse Road project is going to be constructed into 2 phases. The first phase and second phase was initially shown in the tips as the old DES number, which would be the northern part of the project, and the new DES number being the second phase and the southern part of the project. The request was to reverse the phase numbers, and simply that was it. So the new DES number, which is the southern part of the project, would now be phase 1, and the northern part of the project with the old DES number would simply be phase 2. So a fairly simple switching between 1 and 2, and that's it. So, but we wanted to make sure that you knew about those changes.
Great. All right, thank you, Doug, for bringing those to our attention. We appreciate that. The next item on the agenda is the APC Progress Report, MPO Update, the Metropolitan Transportation Plan Survey Update, and Tim will be handling that.
Yes, thank you. So this is kind of an informational item that I wanted to bring to everyone's attention. So we have had a survey open for just about 6 weeks now, where we've been asking members of the public for their feedback on kind of different areas in the transportation system that have issues. So that includes not only intersections or dangerous stretches of road, but also trails, sidewalks, places where bike lanes could be beneficial to be added, so on and so forth. So we're kind of trying to gather together potential suggestions to eventually put the project list together for the Metropolitan Transportation Plan. So this is just one piece of that. Once we finish collecting comments and sorting through them, we're going to go ahead and work with the local government engineers to combine that information that we get from the survey with some other information, including previous project lists and their expertise, to put together a project list for the 2050 MTP. I will say that one of the most interesting things that I've gotten out of this survey is that we did have a member of our Citizens Participation Committee email me some pictures this morning. So that was the first time I've ever gotten that in response to one of these online surveys that we've been doing throughout the process. So that was really cool to see that this citizen was very interested in giving us some great documentation of some of the challenges that he perceived in his area. So we're pretty glad to have gotten some good feedback. We've gotten a little bit over 230 responses last time I checked. We're hoping to get a few more before it closes on Monday. And then after that, we'll begin the process of kind of sorting through those comments and extracting potential projects for them with the ultimate aim of getting together a project list. And like I said, this is only one component of putting together that project list, but it is a good way for us to get some information from the public as we kind of try to weigh all the factors in determining how to spend our transportation funding throughout the years. Any questions?
Good. Thank you. Yep, that's very important. Thank you for your work. Any questions for Tim? All right. Next, we're going to hear about the interactive tip project map, and Doug's going to walk us through that.
Doug, you're muted.
Thank you for pointing that out. Sorry about that. Just like in our tip document, we show all of the future projects, both in list form and also in map form. And we thought as another way to convey the information about future road projects would to have this interactive GIS map that's available on our website. As it shows on the screen right now, we have it color-coded. Blue would mean projects that are either sponsored by the cities, the county, and Purdue Airport or City Bus. The dark red projects would be those from Indiana Department of Transportation. As you can see, when you hover over that project, it gives you a snippet of information about it. And then, of course, at the very bottom of that box, it says tip document. Click on that. That will take you basically to the document so you can go through and actually find the detailed information. We realize that people look at information or receive information differently, and we thought this would be another way to help the citizens see where their tax dollars and then also future road projects will be happening or occurring around the county. Questions or comments?
So Doug, is this the first time we've had this capacity then? Or we have not done this exact thing in the past?
That is correct. This is our first attempt that we actually have done this. And as far as I know, there are only 3 other MPOs around the state that do this. So one being Indianapolis, one being in Evansville, and the other one being in Northwest Indiana. So we would be the 4th.
Okay. Do you do this work? Do you do this work in-house, or are we contracting with somebody to help with this?
This has been done all in-house between 2 of our staff members, a Marine, which now moved and transferred over to the current planning side, and then our GIS specialist, Dalen. So between both of those, we are actually able to get this up and running.
Great.
I really like the interactive map, Doug. That's pretty cool stuff.
Great, well, thank you.
All right. Any other questions for Doug on the map? Okay, well, thank you. We'll move on then to the NDOT 18-month letting list, and Doug, you're still up.
In the packet, you received the 2-page report. It's a fairly simple and straightforward one, not too many changes. The first 4 projects are scheduled to be on the 15th letting, which is next week, and all of them are related to bridges, one being a thin deck overlay, and the other 3 being related to bridge painting. Projects 5 and 6, bridge replacement project over Indian Creek, is on a October 14th letting. There has been one change since this report was produced, in that the contract number, this project was pulled from the contract that is listed and placed into another contract. So just a minor note there. Project 6, that was originally on the August letting but had moved to the October letting. And then projects, of course, 8 through 18, you see a lot of them there. Those are all related, again, to the next phase of widening I-65 north of the Wabash River bridges. So that's still on track for a November letting. Going to the second page, Project 24, I'd like to point out, the Sagamore Parkway Trail, the construction of that is still set for a January bid letting. We still got our fingers crossed, and it looks like that project is moving forward. Project 28, there was a change. That was originally scheduled for a January bid letting, but has been moved to March. The 2 projects right below that, 29 and 30, additional auxiliary lanes will be added to various locations on US 52. This is basically south of Teal Road, going to the southeastern part of the county. And then Project 34 on US 52, a new traffic signal at State Road 28 at the East Junction. Should also point out that currently there is a temporary one at this location, so this project will actually install a permanent one. Project 38, there has been a change with this project. It has been scheduled for 9/14/2022 bid letting. but we did receive word that it has been moved to a January 2023 bid letting. And then closing this out, projects 41 and 42 are our next two local projects coming up, Yeager Road and the McCutcheon Pedestrian Safety Project. So in a nutshell, that's a quick summary of the 18-month letting list. Any comments or questions that I can answer?
Shane, do you have anything you would like to add or say? Not pushing you, just asking you if you'd like to.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the opportunity. I don't have anything to add.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Doug. The next item on the agenda is the quarterly reports, the quarterly project tracking summary, and Tim will be handling that.
Yes, so this is just our quarterly summary of some of the things that we're discussing in regards to the projects that use federal funding in Tippecanoe County. So first of all, I guess we'll go ahead and start with the county projects. So for Klondike Road project, purchase orders have been closed out for that. So very excited to see that. That one's almost done. So it's not going to be appearing in the reports anymore. So Doug already talked a lot about the Morehouse Road project split with the tip modification. So just wanted to mention again that that's something that we've been working on, and it looks like things are all good to go. So that will be appearing in a couple phases in future quarterly reports that we track at our technical committee meeting. There was a slight cost increase in Bridge 64 and 65 projects. That was due to design considerations. However, these projects are still going to let as a pair, as far as we know. So that's still moving forward. Moving on to the city of Lafayette, Twickenham Boulevard project is almost complete with just one punch list item remaining. Similar, the Concord Road trail lighting project also almost complete. Again, only one punch list item remaining. So it looks like things are moving along pretty well in Lafayette as well. For West Lafayette, what I want to focus on is the Sagamore Parkway Trail project. So unfortunately, this project has been much more complicated than we first anticipated when we started it. So there have been some delays in hitting project milestones. However, city staff has worked really hard with the consultant to kind of keep that moving and work through some of those challenges. So work is almost complete on the stage 3 design for this project, and it is anticipated that it will still be able to hit the milestones as of this time. And I would also like to just quickly take this opportunity to thank Mitch Langford, West Lafayette City Engineer, for providing us with pretty consistent updates on this project since it's had so many unanticipated issues. So big thank you to Mitch for keeping us in the loop. It looks like things are on track for this project to be able to let in January. Are there any questions about any of the projects that I covered, or maybe some of the ones that I kind of skipped over but were listed in the packet?
All right. Thank you very much, Tim. I don't hear any comments. Thank you for the update. Under other business, David, did you have any comments from the director position that you wanted to make today?
Nope, nothing else to add.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Citizen comments. Have we received any comments from any citizens regarding this agenda?
At this time, there are no comments from the public on Facebook or YouTube.
Okay. And I guess I'll kind of get on the same page. How do we want it, since we're going to keep these all virtual, do we want to wait for a minute at the end of the meeting to make sure nothing comes in? Or if nothing's come in by the end of the meeting, just adjourn? Do you guys or folks at the Area Plan Commission have a preference?
I think we should probably wait just another minute. I think that's the way to go for this.
Okay. All right. Well, if somebody could time that for me then and tell me when the minute's up, that'd be great.
Yep, I'm timing it here.
Thank you.
Okay, it has been 1 minute and I still see no comments on Facebook or YouTube.
Okay, thank you very much for that. With that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved, John Dennis.
Second.
Ben Murray.
Thank you. All right, Mayor, or John Dennis,
Aye.
Tom Murtaugh,
Aye.
Peter Bunder,
Aye.
Cindy Murray,
Aye.
Ben Murray,
Aye.
Shane Spears.
Aye.
We're adjourned, everyone. Thank you.
Have a good weekend, folks.
Thanks.
Thank you.